Welcome to the Young Artists podcast, when young artists take center stage. I'm your host, Natalia, and this is the place where we dive deep into the minds and works of emerging artists, exploring their unique perspectives and creative journeys. Enjoy! Hello, art enthusiasts, and welcome to another episode of Young Artists podcast. I'm your host, Natalia, and today I'm thrilled to start the conversation with Simran Kaur.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to have you. Simran is a passionate photographer based in London whose work transcends the conventional realms of the lens. And could you please introduce your practice? What do you work with? What are your favorite themes? And how do you approach photography?
All right, that's a long story. I have to start with that. I was born and raised in Italy, and my heritage is Indian. And most of my art practices came from what I learned in Italy, pretty much, because I had lots of. I grew up around lots of art thematics and understanding and values about arts and all that. So like actually studying art as a like theory and then going more as well into practice. So like on Saturdays we would have like a full day of like having classes before, just based on theory, like on book, and then in the afternoon we would have like more practical stuff like collages and whatever, which was also really interesting to do. I think in a way art did also shape my own understanding of the world. So definitely I think that did make me into what I am today. But also my own heritage did play a big role, because I'm Punjabi, I'm Indian.
As the northern part, right, of India.
Yeah,
Punjab.
You know that. Look at you. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, my heritage did play a big part in my own creativity, because I've been always inspired by colors. Colors are a big thing in my own heritage, but also personally. I have I'm a big fan of the color blue. I feel like the color blue has so many things to say. I think a lot of people will not understand this, but I think it just depends on how you see colors. You know how different people have different spectrums of colors.
What is it about blue for you?
For me, I mean, personally, blue for me always meant different types of emotion, depending on what circumstances and positions you put it in, on how like you showcase it in your pictures. And also when I see the color blue, I can see tendentially multiple tones instead of just blue. You know, it's not just blue for me. For me, it's like, oh, there is this blue, there is that blue, then there's this other blue, then there's also this blue that is purple too, but it's a bit turquoise as well.
Yeah.
So that like this kind of.
It's interesting when you mention your heritage, because I'm having this conversation with Ricardo a lot about the color blue, because when you're in Italy, the sky is so blue, you have blue everywhere. Here in London, the sky is grey, so like there's not much blue, but when you mention your heritage, like blue, I think it's a huge part.
It's a big blue thing. I think as well, like, if you think about it in Asia as well, still blue is a big thing. Because blue, like, if you go to Indian markets, is actually, if you go buy a sari and it's blue, I don't know in your areas, I'm just looking at those people that are also Indian like me, but in my area, at least where I come from in India, buying a sari that is blue costs more than buying a sari that is pink, tendentially, because the blue color it's not natural, you know, like it's natural, but it's not like fully natural. And then if it's natural, it's gonna take them ages to actually make the blue color, like the indigo, extracting the indigo from the plants and all that. And I think there's also a procedure, I think Uniqlo does that. I think, they work with like indigo colors to make some of their pants and all that, which I have at home. I love them. And then we're like, you know, extracting indigo is not easy, as I say, and that's also why the cost tendentially is more if it's natural. And if it doesn't cost a lot, apparently it's not as natural. So yeah, I don't know that much about it, but that's something fun I want to know more about, because I'm like, the blue color is really interesting to study itself. But yeah, I do agree, the sky is bluer in Italy. People say we all stand in the same sky, but I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. I think in London it's not true.
No, we live in another world. This is not the same world. You know? This is how it feels like.
Do you feel like you like draw more from the Italian upbringing or from the Indian heritage?
Oh, both, definitely. Both. Yeah.
What are the elements?
Okay, so I think from the Italian part it would be more like artistic things, so like understanding the lighting in paintings. Or like my professor was obsessed with lighting in paintings. Like so obsessed that he made us study it so much.
Yeah.
And it's so much imprinted in my brain that when I see lighting things, that even now outside I'm looking at the window in front of me, it's interesting to me because I'm seeing like where the light falls inside a building and how is it outside and how is that juxtaposition making this, that and this.
Yeah.
And like it's making you think about a story behind all that, you know. And then you think about, I don't know, like Caravaggio, most simple example, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And like, pretty much I'm just doing that so everyone knows what I'm talking about. But when I talk about lighting and painting, I mean, lighting is really amazing. Like if for example, if you take out Caravaggio's lighting for some of this painting, it doesn't make sense, does it? It would be just dark, maybe pitch or something. But it would take out a lot of the story because it's not dramatic and it's not giving anything extra to the viewer to feel, you know? Well, I feel like adding light just does so much in photography, as much as in painting, and as much in real life as well. So if you see it as like you take inspiration from real life and then you depict it in photography by recreating it with artificial lighting, that's a good challenge to put on yourself as a creative, I think. And that's what I do. I love doing that. And also I love when my pictures looked really pictorial. So there is this movement called pictorialism in photography, which is where photography tendency starts looking like art pieces. And that's something I started doing in some of my work, not all of it, but there's some work where I love making sure that my model maybe is so much blended into the background that it just looks so, you know, as a painting, like really old paintings.
Is it the Metamorphosis?
Oh, something, yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
So tell me about this project.
The Metamorphosis.
Yes.
Yeah, so I love that project. I feel like that has been one of my biggest projects I ever did. The reason is because I've been sitting around just waiting for the perfect designer to come to me. That's the only reason why. Because I like House of Alvin. They're amazing. They have been doing so much stuff and now they're like here and there doing things and renting clothes and like it's so good, and I can't wait to shoot their other stuff because their stuff is so couture, and I have so many ideas to do with them. Like as a creative director, I have to say that I think those are the best designers I ever met until now, and it was nice to work with them. But yeah, so I had the idea to do the shoot for a really long time. So this goes back to when I probably was like 17, 16, something like that. Now I'm 22, so that was many years ago, yeah? That was many years ago. So I always had the idea, the mood board was just sitting there in my computer, you know, dying and all that, just like taking some mold and dust. And I just didn't know what to do with it because
So the mood board.
Yeah.
To create a photography that would resemble like an art piece, right? That was the idea.
Yes, pretty much in the mood board. I had these ideas of like kind of...
How do you create a mood board?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's quite simple, at least for me. But the first thing I do is I don't put a title. The title just comes after. But what I do is just like, it just comes before the mood board. So for this, the Metamorphosis, why I wanted to do that project is because I always loved butterflies. But also because when I went to the V&A, when I first came to this country, when I was around 14, 15, I went to the V&A after my birthday, and that's when I became 15. And I went to see, I forgot the butterfly's name, unfortunately, but it's a brooch made out of diamonds, and it's positioned in the jewellery section of the V&A. And, you know, the V&A is quite big, so it's impossible to actually visit all of it in one day. But, yeah.
But there's a beautiful jewellery section.
And also I was inspired by Tim Walker, and he did this exhibition, a massive one, which I went to see.
Oh, at V&A?
Yeah.
I saw it as well, a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I was in my first year of uni. My teacher brought me there, and that made me understand how vast is the world of fashion and how much you can connect it with art.
I think he does a great job in this area of connecting, like, artworks and like making the photographs into artworks.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
I love them, like the pieces he made with Tilda Swinton.
I will never forget the exhibition. You know why? Because it was immersive as hell. Because like I never went to an exhibition that was as that immersive. And even now, I go to many exhibitions. I can't forget it. It's impossible to forget. That is in my mind. But definitely, so that Teen Walker exhibition also helped me to understand more about fashion and all that, but also understanding that I need to improve myself in terms of making mood boards and concept. But definitely seeing that little butterfly and how the light was hitting the different diamonds and making this rainbow color in my phone was something that triggered my brain. My brain was like, I need to recreate that lighting somehow.
Yeah.
Not even the shininess. I don't care about that. What I care about is that colors. How do you capture the colors? How do you make them? And that's how lighting comes in handy. So what I did is just researching what type of photography I wanted, and lighting, you know, who I wanted in a team, and things like that. You know, the makeup, what type of makeup I want, and then maybe spend time.
Every one of these pieces is in the mood board.
The makeup side.
Yeah, you put makeup,
Yes,
you put like
yes.
type of lighting.
Yes, because that's what creative direction does in photography as well. But it's also my own production if you think about it. So I'm doing 3 things in one, basically.
I'm wondering, you know, because for example, for painting, it's not a thing to do a mood board, right?
Oh yeah, it's
but I know
not.
it is
You
for
start sketching
styling.
first.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can sketch, but for styling, like fashion styling, you do a mood
Yeah.
board. I think it
And
might be quite
also-
similar, but I have no idea.
Also in photography, I mean, when I do my mood board before pitching them to magazines, once I have a team, I always ask for some consultation. So I just be like, if you think this will actually work or not, because, you know, it also depends on that. And also depends on what type of model you're gonna get. Because you're not gonna get like, oh yeah, okay, so if the hairstyle in the mood board is like long and you're doing big stuff, you can't get a model with short hair. That's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Unless you do like wigs and all that, and then you need to change the mood board, which is not a problem. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's also good to either maybe you just get a model and then you think about how to work around the model, or maybe you make the mood board and then you change it after you got the model, because you'd be like, okay, we can just do this and that instead, which is not too bad still. But pretty much that idea just came from that singular thing I saw, and after that I just waited. I had to wait because I didn't know what to do with it.
So in Metamorphosis, did the idea come from the mood board, or was it formed around the model?
No. As I said, the idea came from the jewellery that I saw in the V&A.
Okay.
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
but
I
what
put
I
that.
mean is, like, did it change when you actually saw the model, or it stayed the same?
It stayed the same. It stayed the same. My good team made it work.
Okay.
They knew that this can't be changed.
Yeah.
Because I have been working on it for ages. Because like, even though I've been sitting down on my computer, there were times where I would go back to it and change things. Because every year I was learning something new. So of course that would change. But none of those years I met these designers, so I don't know. I mean, by then, like, when I told them this story, it was a bit crazy, because it was like, well, I guess it's meant to be or something, I don't know. But like, they were really like, oh, this is actually really interesting, you know. And when I emailed them, they were like, well, we really want to do this, you know. We booked a small studio because we didn't have a lot of money by then, but we did a shoot, they brought the pieces, and it was amazing, because I was, oh my god, this is actually so big. Like, I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize what a big thing I was actually doing. And also my stylist was so like shocked. She was, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, she had to bring two assistants with her, because we needed a lot of help to put the clothes on. I think one thing that went only down, which always happens in a shoot, in this case was the model was being a bit more like being difficult, I would say. Yes.
Okay.
There was
In
a
what
lot.
way?
In what way? She sent it. So basically, my lovely makeup artist, she's amazing, and also my hairstylist who made these amazing wigs that you can see in the pictures. She's amazing. She was part of the Glow Up series in. I forgot the channel name, but like they were part of that, which was really crazy as well. And she won it as well, so I was quite happy about that. But pretty much the model, she didn't. She was like, when we told her we're gonna do like at least like 3-4 makeup, and then she was like, full makeup, it's not paid. And I'm like, mate, but we sent it. Like, my casting director, when I called her about it, she was so shocked and angry about her, because she didn't know like she would be in this way. So she had to talk to the agency as well, and it was such a like, because then the agency kept emailing me saying sorry, la la la, and I was like, I would just say it's fine, I guess.
But in the end, it was like one day of work, or
yeah, one day of work. We just did that in one day, but it was such a funny situation. But I think that is when you start understanding how to react in those situations during set. I'm used to this kind of thing, so I don't react. I just be like, yeah, this is fine. I don't care. I'm just gonna keep going, doing my thing. But of course, like then my hairstylist was trying her best to support my makeup artist, because she was way younger to all of us. She was the smallest in the group as well. So there is this thing that people say, oh yeah, it doesn't matter what age you are. No, it actually does. It does, because like that amount of time you lived here, you start understanding things, you know, and in different
also
ages.
dealing with pressure, right?
Yeah, like it's different, mate. Like she was probably like around 18, something like that. You know, by then I was probably 21, something like that. So it's a bit different. You know, you grew up in different things. You have maybe less experience in this, more experience in that. So my hairstyle was trying her best to support my makeup artist. My makeup artist was amazing too. Like the way she says things and she like just reassuring the model. She was like, yeah, I mean, they do an amazing work. I trust my team. This is a trustworthy team for sure. Especially my stylist. She's amazing. She's from Birmingham, but she comes down to do shoots and editorials, and I really appreciate that.
From Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a way.
Yeah, I took the train to go there to do a test shoot for a model agency recently. It was cold. I was dying. I couldn't believe to my eyes. I was like, oh my God, I want to go home. I was like, devastated, I think, in a way. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
she comes every time.
Yeah, and she does that every time. And like, this is like 3 hours by train and 2 hours by car, I think. Something like that. But it's just crazy. But that shoot went so amazing, and I was happy regardless of whatever that model was thinking. We didn't really care. We just kept going because she was just judging things. You know, she would judge the wigs that my hairstylist made, then she would judge the makeup, the palettes. You know, when actually the team is amazing, and I'm like, I don't see any issues in this. Clearly her ego just took over her, I guess. See. Yeah, in a way. And then she kind of ordered me to get her a soup, and I was like...
So how do you deal with this sort of like uncomfortable or difficult situations that would put you under pressure during the day?
During the shoot, if they say something to me, like once I had a stylist saying, "You're being stressful, Simran," and I was like, "How?" Because I just told you, literally, because she asked me, "What do you think?" And I told her what I throw, and then she was like that, and I was like, "Well, definitely, I'm not working with you again," because that was not the first time she was being like that, you know. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that again, that's it. And you just don't reply during set, you just keep working, because you know you need to keep rolling. Someone paid for the studio, you don't need to waste time. So I'm like, I just do it.
Do you feel like that word of fashion is a little bit fake? Like
it is.
People would say fake thing to each other instead of being like brutally honest.
They do. I used to have a good friend, and now we're not friends anymore for multiple reasons. But I'm glad we're not, because in a way I think we were in a sort of toxic relationship, friendship thing, because it was not doing good for me mentally, and probably not for them as well, in a way. I think just because we had different values and understanding of this world, which is fine, I don't mind. I feel like being hated is a good thing as well. It's not as bad as people think. Like there's...
In what way?
In what way? I mean, tendency, you know, like not everyone will love you or like you in this world, so that's fine. You just keep rolling and do your thing. You know, you can't just keep running behind people that don't like you. What's the matter with that? I mean, I don't really care, to be honest. It's like, why should I be around people that don't even invite me to things? I'm not doing that. If you're not invited, don't go. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can never please like everybody.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that.
Okay, let's come back to your creative ideas.
Sorry.
You were talking that you are super inspired by light.
Oh yeah.
You did the project Lumen about light.
Oh yeah, recently I did that. That was a good campaign. But before I finish, Metamorphosis was also, after that was featured in Vanilla issue in Glitch magazine, which was really good. And then it went into this magazine called Shift magazine, because I thought it would be a good step up, which my good we're not friends because I just know them, but I guess friends in a way, because we did link up quite often in London Fashion, but we don't actually really meet because we're too busy anyway. But if we do, it's a good energy, so I do say it's a friend. They're amazing. Her name is Late, and I was like, you know, I would like to feature this work in Shift, because I feel like this designers needs like someone to put them a bit more up. And she works with a bit bigger magazines, but they have their own little magazine rolling up, and I was like, we can start maybe with that. And then I had like a few emails receiving from a designer saying, "Oh my God, Simran, we can't believe what you did. This is so amazing. We love the work, and we will work again with you." And then they went off. They just were doing big things, and I was like, "This is so cool."
That's great.
And I deeply inside, I feel so proud of my team. Like seeing how many people around me went here and did this and that, and then also me myself, I'm like, this is just working so well. And I'm like, I have my own little community thing.
Do you always work with the same team?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in a way I do. Maybe there will be some people that are different. I try to diversify, but when it comes to editorials, I try to work with some people that I already know, and then some people that I don't, because sometimes if it's a big editorial, you stay in there until probably 8 or more. Maybe you want some people that you know, because you never know. There might be times where the pressure just gets too much, and there will be times in between where you're having a break, and maybe you want to talk to someone about something a bit more personal.
Yeah,
That happens.
I see,
And I think that's
it's
human.
the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Of work.
And it's kind of human as well, you know. While in campaigns, for me, it's a bit more different. It's not stressful. I never felt any stress in campaigns or lookbooks. It's really easy to shoot, in my opinion, because it's more like, well, I have that idea, I just do it, and the team is really small, because it's just maybe, well, the design, makeup artist, hairstyling, nail artist, one model or two, and yourself, you know, and it's a chill day, and it's just that. While in editorial, it's so specific, because then you need to make sure that what you gave to the magazine, the mood board, is what it turns out like, you know. So it's like, okay, I need to look at the picture again, making sure if I have this, great, now we change look, then we do.
So what is exactly the difference between shooting, editorial, and lookbook?
Okay, so lookbooks and campaigns are more like commercial work, so of course more paid. And then editorials are more for like magazines. Of course, you can put your campaign as well in magazines, but I know that most magazines, they ask for money, you know, because that's advertorial and kind of like adding pages to their own printing and all that. But I mean, different magazines do different things. Let's say that, you know, like it's not like a common rule. Everyone do their own thing. As I say, you know, all of us have different rules and way of doing. Yeah. So editorials is like you need to at least have like 6-8 looks for the magazine to accept them. Different makeups, different hair. But for campaign, there are times where I had only one look of hair, one makeup, and that's it, you know. Really easy. And I mean, of course, sometimes maybe it would be 2 or 1 or 3, you know. Then it would be for jewellery, you know, it's a bit more easy. I think shooting jewellery has been easier for me. I love shooting jewellery brands. I love that. I feel like there's so much to play around with rings, necklaces, and all that. Like, so much to explore that has been forgotten from the 80s, because I saw so many amazing things that photographers used to do in the 80s. I have like this Pinterest board that is pretty much old as hell. Like there's nothing new in it. It's like so much old inspiration stuff that's so, and I'm like, like either I try to kind of recreate it, or like I take the idea but then I change it, you know, I do it my own way. So things like that. So make it interesting, because I feel like as well campaigns for jewelry has been really sometimes too simple. It's not interesting, it's not capturing the person, it's not giving the feeling to the person. Why should the client buy it if it's not meaning anything in a way, you know, like, or maybe it's just looking beautiful. Okay, cool. But if a brand is not working towards just looking beautiful, that of course you need to do a shoot in a different way, you know. It's not about, oh yeah, let's make it look cool and all that. But yeah, of course, then designers, they can come up with like 16 look, and then you need to shoot all of them. But that can be like in 2 days or in 1, depending on how long is it. But as I said, most of the time, but until now, let's see what happens next year. I didn't have lots of like makeup or hair changes, to be honest. It's more about the clothes changes, maybe a bit changing the light, but not too much. Yeah. Less stressful, I would say, as well, because you have the designer next to you, so they know how to direct you and do things. So it's like, okay, maybe this and that now. Okay.
So in your shoots, who is the boss? Is it you
me?
or
Yeah, I mean, it depends, you know, like there were times where I was doing the creative direction, but there was also a second creative director with me, and sometimes it's also like maybe the whole team is just working on it, so no one is really the boss. But there are times where you go to a shoot and you know there are people that maybe chat too much. And that's fine, you know, but then you need to make sure that you take the power on it. They'll be like, okay, let's do this now, you know, let's get this done, otherwise we're gonna be late, you know. Sure. So you need to be the boss sometimes. Yeah, but there are times where you can just be chilled and all that. But yeah, I feel like editorials are definitely more difficult to shoot. I know some people did tell me, oh, like, campaigns are a bit more difficult to shoot. But in my opinion, my personal experiences, for now, I didn't find any difficulties in shooting a campaign. Even when I do videography, no problems with that. Never. I think the only problem would be when I'm shooting outdoor. That's the problem. You never know in this country.
Yeah.
It's like raining, maybe one day it's like the storm, or I don't know, it could snow or something. Things like that. But I always make it work. That's my job anyway. So you need to make it work.
Yeah, I
Things
see.
like that, yeah. I feel like that's a good thing as well to talk about. If things happen during shoots, but you just need to make it work. Yeah, you can't.
But I think it might. I hope it might like positively influence the shoot. Like
it
you
does.
become more creative.
Oh,
you know?
it
'Cause
makes
there's
that.
obstacles and you need to overcome them.
It's like playing Mario Kart, and you're just like trying to get all the things, and then pretty much you have the obstacles and you're trying to like jump them off and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part. I love when things happen in shoot. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Like I had a shoot where they kicked us out of the studio because there was a clashing with another booking for 1 hour. So we stayed 1 hour in this corridor just chatting shit and thinking about how to shoot next time. So like after this, how we shoot, and we were like, okay, they gave us 1 hour 30 minutes. I was like, I can do this. I did shoot.
It's so little.
I don't mind because
Like before you said that you stayed till 8 and now you have like 1 hour.
Yeah, and because we were already shooting for like 3 hours, and then it was
Yeah.
supposed to be only a 4 hour shoot because there were not a lot of looks, so it was really chill. But then this girl came and was like, I think there was some misunderstanding. I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fight this. We're just gonna go in the corridor and think about what to do. So I was like, guys, I already did shoot in 1 hour. I did a shoot in 1 hour. It's possible. You just
Yeah.
need to be really smart and strategic. The makeup was almost done. She just need to retouch the cheeks. 10 minutes. Hair was really simple anyway, so I was like, this is possible. This is not an editorial anyway, it's a campaign, remember that. Super simple hair, super simple makeup. So it's not about that, it's about me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this lighting, then we're gonna have these flowers, this set, we're gonna do this, full body, half shot, portrait, next outfit, full body, half shot, portrait, and then a little video, and then we're done. We need to pack up in 20 minutes and get out. We did that. On time.
So
Yeah.
you are the boss.
Yeah, I guess yes. Have to be sometime, like if everyone is panicking and you're the only one not panicking, pull up the idea.
Yeah,
You need to be
you
the
do.
one. It could sometimes maybe it could be someone else instead. It could not even be me. It could be the makeup artist as well, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes people be like, oh yeah, okay, no wait, Simran is fine. We can do this, this and that. It would be okay. I'm like, yes, that's cool. Let's do that.
Someone needs to be motivated.
Yeah.
So, Lumen.
Oh yeah, Lumen. Oh, okay. Recently,
Light inspired editorial.
You know Lumen. What does it mean? I mean, I love the word Lumen. It's been in my dictionary, I guess, for a really long time. I used them multiple times in the past to do little projects when I was 13 and all that. I used to do more still life stuff. In photography, so I would call some of my projects Lumen, or because I did study some of Latin in Italy. I know. But I was kind of forced to study it. Yeah, like you went to school and they were like, okay, now you need to start doing this extra class after school. I'm like, this is gonna be terrible.
And then it happens to inspire your project years
Years
later.
So I had this project called Somnium, which means dreams, and that was ages ago. That was my I did a project my second year of uni called Somnium. So it was more about like dreams and how like sometime a dream can reoccur in reality in some sort of ways. It's like your dream did cause you to think that somehow there's a connection to reality, because whatever you dream is essentially random informations you have in your brain, and they're not like literally put in place. So it's like number 1 is not number 1, instead is like number 10, and then number 10 comes first, so it's all confusing. But then when it comes to real life and you wake up and you do all your things every day, and then there are things that, oh wait a second, this matched to my dream. Something like that. That's the approach I did. I don't remember a lot about it, to be honest, because we did it during COVID and it was really rushed as well. I didn't like it. And at the end of the day, I just forgot about it. And I was like, oh, it was a cool concept, but I don't really care about it anymore, to be honest. But yeah, definitely like studying Latin did also help me to understand more about words, I guess. Speaking Italian is interesting. to know where Italian comes from.
You speak
and
English, Italian,
yeah, and Punjabi.
and Punjabi.
Yeah, I did learn Spanish as well, so yeah, it's cool. I'm trying to learn now Chinese because
Oh, that's
why not?
ambitious.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's
Yeah.
good to learn languages. I do that. I have my classes and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, I'm school. A bit difficult. But yeah, Lumen got recently featured in the Dazed Club Spotlight. I don't know if you say that. And they posted it on their Instagram, and then they posted it on the article. I think the fun fact about that is that when that happened, I was in my house doing nothing. My phone was off because I wanted to focus on emailing people. And then my friend presented herself to the door because she lives only 5 minutes away, and she loved Dazed. And she's not even a creative, yeah, but she loves Dazed. And she was like, she called me a couple of times. She said, I called you 20 times. You didn't reply, so I had to come to your house to check if you're okay. And then I was like, mate, what happened? And she's like, you didn't look at Instagram. I'm like, my phone is turned off. I'm working, doing emails and editing on my computer before I go to do my shoot. And I was like, you need to check it. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I got features. Like, that's not really cool. That's amazing, Simran. You need to be proud of yourself. Yeah. And I'm like, well, maybe yes. I feel like most of the time I said that in some of my posts where I did some workshops and then I post about them. There are times where I write about personal stuff, and I think it's also a good way to relate a bit more with people around you and your community you built on Instagram. Because I think that's the problem sometimes, also with some brands, as a creative director, I came to understand one thing that people have been doing wrong is just being all about visual and aesthetic and less about the story and being a person. There's one thing that I always say, and this is also a thing that I say to Shell, he's from Dazed, he works there, hi Shell. But I said, it's about being more of a human and less of a robot nowadays. So like understanding how to be a human again. Yeah. So I try to do that because that is what grounds me down to earth and makes me do what I do now, What
do you mean by that in photography?
In photography, well, it's not just photography, it's more about, as well, creative direction, it's general knowledge, and it can relate to anything, but it's more about being nice, like understanding, like empathy, and not being a dickhead, I guess. But it's also about like, I feel like I used to assist a lot of people last year, as I said, and some of the people I assisted, I don't think they were photographers, and some of them, they were not really nice to the models, the way they talked and told them to do things, and I'm like, this is not how it should be. And also with the team, like super cool, detached, it's not like this, you need to be
human.
You need to be a human. You're not a robot just to do it. You're not that just to get famous. You need to have a goal in that. Like, what is your purpose? If you're doing it for the fame, just don't do it then, please. Get out of this. Because, like, I don't like that. I have to be like, ages ago, I would be like, oh yeah, I don't mind. Do whatever you want. No, I do mind, actually. Because that's what ruins some of the things in this industry. People that just want to get famous and want to just go in the letter and be like, I slayed. I'm like, no, you didn't slay at all, because now you're a person that is not a person at all. And I don't want to be that. I'm like, fame is good, yes, but like, until where is gonna get you that? You have a life, you're a person, you have emotions. Did you put any of your emotions in your work? No, you never did. Some people are like that. So, and also some brands are like that.
This rage for fame makes people like detached
crazy
from
as well.
The emotions and from the creative ideas. It's just fame.
And I think it also detaches people from understanding other people. Like, they're not gonna try to understand your perspective. They're just gonna keep on going on their own line and become like horses. When they put the thing and they just keep going straight. You can't just become like a horse. Just keep going straight.
Just
you don't
the
look
goal,
left
and that's it.
Yeah, just that goal of you seeing on the top and everything on the bottom. That's the thing. Some people are like that. I met them. I worked with some of these people, and I will never do it again. I don't want that. It's such a bad energy to be around, and also in a way it makes you feel bad, because it's like, I can feel it on my shoulders that you're just here because you want this and this. You're not here to actually give like some of your
vulnerability
into this project, because also most of my projects are about emotions and feelings. If you're not feeling anything, don't be here. I don't want you here. Get out. I don't care. I can get someone else that probably is better than you. you know.
I see, I
it's
see.
easy as that, because it's like there's not, it's not hard to understand this. But I feel like people just forget about it. There are people that just go start, do stuff and all that, and then they forget about why did you even start, you know. And then also this is why I like this podcast, because then you have to talk to these people, and you maybe start understanding as well where they stand with their values, where they stand with this and that. I think values is a good core, and I think Nick Knight has been one of my photographers that I think has always some good values and intention behind his projects. And same with Tim Walker, and that's why I really like their work. But apart of that, I've never had a favorite photographer. But there's a reason. It's because of this, you know.
I see.
Yeah. So it's a bit difficult, and I've been really upset sometimes because of this, because it makes you feel like shit. It's like, oh my god, this is really hard. And then sometimes you want to work with some designers, and then you realize they don't want to actually, they're not there to make the customer feel something through their work, you know. Their work
Only about money.
Yeah, they say, oh, my work actually doesn't mean something, it's just work that I want to sell. I'm like, that's fine, open your company, but that's more commercial, and that's not my thing. And I mean, I do commercial stuff.
Is it still art?
But it's not really related to art, it's nothing. And I'm like, this is so empty, you know. And then, you know, people get creative directors to make it look cool and to be more sellable with things. You know, that's not cool.
So talking about your experience with like famous people, how do you deal with, for example, facing someone who is so famous, so you know, powerful, and you're about like to work with them?
Oh god, I just don't care. I just do it.
You don't?
I don't. I actually don't care. Now that I think about it, because most of the time I just go to that.
You took part in MOWA LOLA.
Oh yeah,
catwalk. There was like a lot of very influential people, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about like the experience.
All right. So hello illusion pages. Just saying that first. Don't kill me. But I would say I went in the backstage just because I wanted to. You know, I came that early. I knew I could go there. I knew I could do it, because I was like, I look like a busy person who has good intention. I could just go in. So I just go in.
Just like that.
Yeah, I found the intern. And I was like, mate, I'm a bit lost, because it was a warehouse, and I was going to the backstage just to take some pictures for Glam Cut magazine. And she was like, oh yeah, this is the backstage. And then she gave me a wristband. I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. I'm in now. I'm just taking pictures, having fun with the models. I love the models. I think that's the fun part of these catwalks. Oh my god, I feel like there are times where I like more the models than the designers.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. There were times like that this year, because I was like, the models are so like, they have so many stories to tell. People don't realize how valuable, like, everyone is valuable, yeah. But I feel like models, they don't get to say a lot nowadays. Like in the past, they would do interviews or whatever, but nowadays I don't see that a lot. And it's like, or maybe they will interview only the big ones. But then I'm like, what about the people that are starting? You know, I want to see what they feel. So that's why I'm also setting up a goal for this February to do little interviews in between when I can. You know, it would be cool to do that. But definitely, just got into the MOWA LOLA backstage. Felt a bit awkward at the first. Then I realized there was not a lot of backstage photographers. I was like, oh wait, I'm the only one, because they were also shooting, I think, a lookbook. Yeah, they were shooting the lookbook at the same time, so they would change the model, put them in the line, and then shoot the lookbook. It was so cool. I loved it. I loved the way they were shooting it. I think I loved the lighting as well. Super retro night style and all that. And then I met The Help, this big duo from America. Was fun. Been emailing them for ages. Hi Noah, I hope you're well. They're cool. Yeah, they're cool. I had fun listening to their stuff at the after party. Yeah, I went to the after party, took pictures of them, had fun. Also met some of my friends that I didn't see in ages. And also met some friends in my backstage, actually, like makeup artists and hairstylists. They looked like zombies, to be honest, but yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine how much work does this.
Yeah, also this year everything was clashing, so you were late everywhere. Like, even the shows either would like start or end late, and then you would be late to the next one. So like you're rushed, you know. You don't have to think about it, you just need to go.
Coming back to Lumen, What about like the backstage of the Lumen? How was it?
Oh, it was really calm. It was just me, the designer. We had our HMOA, so a person that did hair and makeup at the same time, and then we had that's it, and the model. 4 people.
Yeah.
Literally, and the model was a new face from my lovely casting director Autumn Jensen, who also has a model agency. So that was really nice. Was her first time, I think, modeling. Yes, but she was really good. Really good at taking directions as well. Really nice person to talk to, and it really fitted her. I think some models have like an aura, and you just feel it. So I was like, this fits her perfectly, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I just went through her, say, I was like, okay, we need to do this and that. And she just understood that like that. I was like, this is amazing. I love when that happens, because that's when you establish a deeper connection with a model. It's not just about work. Now it's more about you understanding me, you feeling me the way I feel you. Yeah. So it's more about that. The same thing goes with the design as well. I had so much to talk with her about, and we were deciding, okay, let's put this outfit together, just black, and then we have the jewelry just like sparkling through it, and talking about like how lighting can also like inspire people to like just kind of keep going on, and all those kind of rhythmicality and fluidity in this word. Talk about more like as well believing in yourself, so that's kind of how I kind of saw it as well. So just those kind of dots here and here, so we can't just shot that. Was really fast as a shoot as well, was really calm, really loved shooting it. Just a white plain background, me doing lighting, adjusting the light, creating the story in my mind. Then the nails as well, the designer made them. The designer made those long nails. Keep in mind, this was not submission for Taste at first. I just didn't know where to send it, and it was just there. I was like, I will post it at some point. It's a lovely little campaign we did, and I really liked it. It's really my stuff. Like I could see, I was like, that was my second best, because the first one was Alvin. That's one of my second best photo shoot I did, I think. And I was like, I'm so proud of this and everything. And then I became part of the Days Club. And I saw that they were accepting submissions, and my lovely good friend Sharon was like, okay, you need to send us something like new or whatever, like that has not been published by any other magazine. I was like, I'm just gonna send this because this has to be going somewhere. And every other magazine was like, I want money in order to put this as an ad, as a campaign. And I was like, oh, we don't have that much money yet,
Yeah.
Like so I was like, okay, this is gonna work out. So I just do mathematics, and then I ended up being in the first page, I guess, or like the first slide or whatever of the Days, and I was like, that's really cool. And I didn't realize that at that point. I started realizing something: I don't celebrate myself enough. So
that's important when you're a creator.
So I started doing that. So I was like, I need to celebrate myself more. Like, if some people think that I'm just like being like a bit more too flashy, or like my ego is coming out, I'm like, no, it's not my ego. I've just been oppressing myself.
Behind that.
Yeah, I've been oppressing myself for many years, like putting myself underneath boots. I'm like, I don't put myself anymore. I want to let myself shine as much as I can. And if you don't like it, you can just fuck off, you know?
So what would be your advice to young artists, or to people who just begin their story with photography or with art, with the industry?
Don't let people tell you what to do or not. Just do what you want, In the end of the day, no one is actually gonna care and look at what you did or what you said, la 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 la. Just keep doing what you believe. Of course, if your values are wrong, maybe get checked out. In that case, it's a different story. But what I'm talking about here is that don't let people like put a foot down on you, let yourself shine, celebrate your achievements. Don't be upset if things don't work out. They will. You just need to keep working on it. It's a big journey, This is not an easy journey. It's really hard. Make sure you have the right people around you, It could be even people outside the industry, I have my best friend. She doesn't work in the creative industry. She just, she works in Argos, and she's a lawyer student, and that's it, normal people life.
And she supports you.
Yeah, she supports me 100%. She was the person coming to my door and knocking like a mad person because I was not replying to my phone, and then saying, Ibra, you got featured in Days. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. That can't be true. I'm like, no, it's true. I'm like, okay, cool, nice. I opened my phone. I was like, okay, this is actually amazing. And she's like, you need to be proud of this. Like, even me doing the backstage most of the time, also front of house and whatever, doing fashion week this year for Glam Card, that was a big thing. But still, the moment you do it is the moment when you will realize how much you don't celebrate yourself. But you need to start doing that, because you just need to. Like, why don't you celebrate yourself, you know? It's a good thing to do. You're a person, you need to be like, the biggest person that can cheer yourself up is yourself. It's not even your friend. Your friend is just gonna be there trying to cheer you up. But whatever is deeper inside you...
it comes from within you.
Yeah, it comes within you. You need to make sure that you're okay, you know? It's not like someone else will come to help you and be like, I'm the hero of the story. No, you're your own hero of your story, you know? Like, you make your own story.
That's beautifully said.
Yeah, of course.
Well, thank you so much, Simran, for the conversation.
I love this, to be honest.
It was so cool. Like, I learned so much about photography. So, yeah, it was great having you.
All right. I'm quite happy. Yeah. I hope I was not too open, but to be honest, I don't really care anymore. 'Cause I feel like, you know, I think that's the good thing about me.
You're honest, you know.
I'm honest. That's what people start liking about me. That's why people work with me, because they know I'm gonna say the truth. Like, even when I meet like designers and now they ask me like what I really think, I just say the truth. I don't hide.
Yeah.
Because if I say to them, oh, it's not like nice and whatever, and what they're doing at the moment because of this and this, and I try to help them and be like, maybe you should try this, maybe this and this, you know, giving advices and then doing something with them, it's because I want to truly help them, because I can see the potential, but they're trying to hide themselves or they don't, how do you say, they don't elevate themselves, you know, like they're scared.
Celebrate.
They're scared, you know, they're scared to like do this, they're scared to do that. Sometimes you just have to do it.
Of course.
Yeah, just do it.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for listening to the Young Artist podcast. And stay tuned for more episodes next week. Bye. Thank you for joining us on the Young Artists podcast. Don't forget to stay connected with us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Follow us at Young Artist Podcast for behind the scenes glimpses, updates, and even more artistic inspiration. Your support fuels our creativity.